Good morning.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I found myself doing it again this morning, starting the video without the audio, and here I am. But I wanted to say that I'm hearing a lot of people talking about when the next election comes through, this middle of the season, they're saying that the Democrats should be able to take over based upon what the Republicans have done, how they have expressed themselves. And a lot of Democrats are saying they do not want a Democrat that's going to come in here doing like Merrick Garland or anybody that's going to be tiptoeing. That they are really pissed off at what they've seen Donald Trump, what they've seen MAGA, what they've seen the Republicans do, how they've disregarded the rest of the people of this country, totally disregarded them, threatening them, uh, with the things that they're doing with the taxes, not acceptable. The hardships that are being caused, not acceptable. So they want somebody to come back in and get it, just like the Republicans are saying right now. Like Donald Trump, they lied and they were proven lies, and they try to divide the people that way. And he's in here in office now, can't even do anything for the people because it's not a part of his consciousness. But he's trying to punish people because they wouldn't agree with his lying. In other words, the system as it was set up, Donald Trump didn't believe in it. He just believes that you can run your mouth and get what you want. And when you run your mouth and get what you want, he believes that you can just go around abusing people, lying and taking advantage of people, totally disregarding what life is all about and just stupid, kicking folks in their butt while you get what you want. And that's what he believes as an individual, and that's what he believes this country should do. And this is what he thinks he's trying to rip America off so he can continue to do to the rest of the world by using America as his bank book. And some of the Democrats are saying, hey, no, let's get even with them now. Republicans have been saying to MAGA, you got to cut some of this stuff out because if Democrats get in power, they're going to do the same thing us. And that's what the Democrats are saying. Get in power and put these folks in jail because we know they're violating the rules. They don't care about us, so we're going to get them by the law. They were trying to get us by deception, but we're going to use the law to get them. And that happens. And that has happened. And it's going to continue to happen unless the people make a change. Now, the reason that you find people saying, if they can do it, we can do it, what's good for the gander is good for the goose, is because you do not have a solution. And when you don't have a solution, things like this happen. But that doesn't mean that solutions don't exist. Question, are you willing to listen to solutions? Fact is, do you even want a solution? Now, you do know what you want as an individual. You want to be satisfied in life. It doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on. And if you can find a way that you can be satisfied in life and not even know that anything is happening on the other side of the fence because you're so satisfied, that sounds like a pretty good thing to me. But you have to focus there. You have to want that. So I'm saying that rather than what they did to me, I'm going to do to them, try to get even. And rather than saying I don't want any tippy toe Merrick Garland are those people who are not going to do anything because they're just setting up the cheek to be turned and get the hell slapped out of them. I say this, why don't we all decide that we are going to make everything work for both sides? You say, how can you do that? And I say, what do you say? Let's think about it. You're smart, you're intelligent, you got a good brain, you got, man, you and ladies too, I know you got it going on. So tell me, how can we do it? How can we do it and accomplish it for everybody? Now, people who are wise, they would go to the nucleus, the smallest point, and see how could that happen in the smallest situation. And what would you call one of the smallest situations? One of the smallest situations would be a family. One family. That could be 2, 3, or 21. But how, nobody on earth but you guys, how can you make that work? All of the things that you want in life need. Now, how do you make it work? That's the basic same principle. that you utilize for 8 billion people. That same principle. And here, people are having the opportunity to choose what they love out of all the things that have been done, are being done, and can be done. What you love. And in the past, we've had troubles. We've had to deal and hustle and struggle to try to accomplish an end. But now it has changed, and we got the whole world giving us whatever we need, all of the support, because they are depending on us, waiting for us. And we give them what they need, just like when they were babies in diapers, and they grow up just like they did when they were eating this food they were feeding. Now they're growing up with this intelligence in life, because there's going to come a time when they got to take care of business. And when they taking care of business, doing what they love, we, the people of this country, we, the people of this world, are being taken care of. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm trying to tell you this. I want to give a stroke for God. When I think about Donald Trump and what Donald Trump has done, I don't care if you are an atheist. I want to stand up for God. When you think about the Democrats and the role that the politicians have played in this life, I don't care whether you've been privileged or whether you've been a slave. When you think about the totality of that picture, I want to stand up and give a praise to God and say to hell with all that stuff. Give a praise to God. And when I think about the little knowledge that I have in relationship to the world and how the world has expressed itself, just through the little info, and it's all the little information I've had. I'm sure there's so much information, but just a little bit, it's enough to turn you good. So what does that mean? Does that mean everything is failed? It does not mean that everything is failed. It means that the world is ready for change. It has come to the point and it is ready. It had to come here. It had to get here to understand, to recognize that it's ready for change. The world is ready for change. And I'm saying to you, as far as God is concerned, we got the earth. God has given us everything. And all we got to do is wake up. You can let people call you woke if you want to, but all we got to do is wake up. And before God would be satisfied with you being unwoke, he'd rather, excuse me for saying he, I don't know nothing about God being a person. God would rather that every last one of you showed your representation for God by putting your life on the line. And rather than live in a body in the middle of a shithole, and you know what that's like. But to live in a body in the middle of all that, and it is all of that only if you know the truth. If you are familiar with real life, and you're not really familiar with real life until God shows you. And God is not going to show you until you reach that point where it says, only the pure in heart shall see God. So that got to be something you want. And when you want it, it's coming. And when it comes, you see that you're in a shithole. You gonna do you gonna do whatever you have to do to make it like drinking fresh water. Ooh. And if that doesn't work, you definitely not gonna be there. Okay, how you get out of there? I don't think you're gonna commit suicide yourself, but you definitely will give it everything you got to change that. And if it's so committed to itself, it'll help you get out. But God would rather have you out like Gandhi, and even like they said Jesus, and I'm sure so many others, Malcolm, Dr. King, all of the brothers and sisters that have given their lives for standing up for what's right and wasn't going to take that evil stuff. God would rather see you with all those people standing up for what's right than people who caused all the pain or people who were so weak and had no God except the ones that was causing the pain, and they accepted it. No, 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 no. And that, if it still exists, it exists for the purpose of what? Change. And for those of you who woke, hey, what they say? Hey, hey, hey. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.